Hi, good morning everyone. And this is Dr. S. Prakash, Professor, EEE Department, Bharat Institute of Higher Education and Research. I am going to handle the course Green Technologies. We will have a series of lectures on this. This course is offered for UG students from EEE Department. This is an elective course. We can see the series of lectures with some important topics on this. Coming to the green technologies, first one is about the definition, importance and historical evolution, then the advantages and disadvantages of green technologies are discussed. Then factors affecting green technologies will also be discussed here. Then the impact and the role of industry, government and institutions, right, their participation towards green technology is discussed in this series of lecture, right. Right now we will move to this green technology, the definition. See, green technology also known as sustainable technology. It takes into account the long and short term impact something has on the environment. So, the green technology in the sense we are moving towards the environment. So, green products are by definition they are environmental friendly. Energy efficiency, recycling, health and safety concerns, renewable resources and more all go into the making of a green product or technology. See, we concentrate mainly on energy efficiency products, then when and where, which and right, whoever whatever may be the product which can be recycled, that is taken into major consideration. Health and safety concerns also considered, where and all it is possible you can use the renewable energy resources, right. So, taking all these things into consideration we make a green technology, a green product or green technology, right. So, what is exactly green tech, right. So, this green tech refers to a type of technology that is considered environmentally friendly based on its production process or its supply chain. So, the technology tech, it refers to the environmentally friendly based on its production as well as supply. So, this green tech, which is an abbreviation of green technology, can also refer to clean energy production. Clean energy production is the use of alternative fuels and technologies that are less harmful to the environment than fossil fuels. As we are an electrical engineering focusing exactly towards the fuels, right. Now, the next is importance, right. What is the importance, why you have to move to the green technology. So, one of the most obvious benefits to building with the green technology is the environmental impact, right. So, we consider more about environmental impact here. The green technology helps reduce emissions, conserves water, reduces waste and consume less energy than the existing technology or the conventional technology, right. So, this point is very important point. You can see it will reduce the emissions, conserves water, right, because now we have separate water management systems, right. So, reduces waste and consume less energy than conventional technology. Green buildings also use materials more efficiently, right. We have green buildings also that use materials for the construction that is going to be more efficient one, right. So, the importance takeaway from the green technology. Green tech or green technology is an umbrella term that describes the use of technology and science to create products that are more close to the environment or it is going to be environmental friendly. So, the goal of green tech is to protect the environment, right, and in some cases to even repair past damage done to the environment, right. So, you are concentrating focusing yourself to the environment and also we try to protect our environment through the previous damages, whatever the past damages we have done, we are taking that also into account. Then examples of green tech include the technology, infrastructure used to recycle waste, purify water, create clean energy and conserve natural resources, right. You can see this purify water, create clean energy, all these things may be probably repeated in this, right. So, that is the most importance we are giving in the green technology. Now, the examples of green technology, under that first one we are taking as recycling, right. So, green technology is used in the recycling process as well as in waste incineration, right, reducing the waste. Recyclable material can be used when manufacturing plastics, fertilizer and fuel, right. Recyclable material can be used when manufacturing the plastics, right. Similarly, fertilizer, similarly fuel. Whether we know, right, it is going to be somehow impossible or it is going to be somehow costlier, but even we try to do the process. So, green technology can also be a part of the production process, such as process to recycle water or waste in the manufacturing process, right. That is about the recycling. Then examples of green technology, obtaining the clean water, right. So, the green tech is used to purify water resources around the world, because water is going to be a major source for a human being, right, not only for human being, for all the living things. So, to purify water resources around the world, in parts of the world where there are scarce water resources, we have water scarcity, that is the major problem. Green technologies can be employed to purify dirty water or remove salt from seawater in order to increase the availability of clean drinking water, right. So, this clean water, you have to keep it in mind about the clean water. Then about the clean air, right. So, green tech is used in the process that purify the air by reducing carbon emissions and gases that are released into the air from manufacturing plants. Here, clean air in the sense we are not going to produce the clean air, right. The process, the production system which uses the green tech, which in turn is going to reduce the carbon emissions, right. So, that is concentrated on this, that is about the clean air. Then examples of green technology, under that energy, which is a major important factor, right. So, this green tech can be used in process intended to conserve energy, such as energy efficient light fixtures. Even we have discussed about the green building also, right. We can have a note on that also, or you can keep that green building also in your mind right now. So, this green technology is also used to create alternative fuel sources that are more environmental friendly than the fossil fuels. So, coming to that fossil fuel case, right, you are not going to use the ordinary products. Instead of that, what we are telling is you can concentrate on solar, wind and hydroelectric dams are all examples of green technology, because they are safer for the environment and do not produce fossil fuel waste as byproducts, right. So, that is why we are telling you should concentrate yourself more on solar, wind and hydroelectric, right. Besides the environmental benefits of these alternative energy sources, they can also be used to power a home or a utility power plant, not only concentrating on the environmental benefits, but also to power a home or in the concept of developing a standalone unit, right. See, already coming to this energy discussion, central government has decided all the state government electricity boards to create 35% of the power of the state need should be by renewable energy sources only, right. They have to get power, say suppose if the grid is going to, if the state grid is going to consider 100 kilowatt, then 35% of the power should be from renewable energy sources alone. So, that is the impact of the energy from the green technology, right. So, here the renewable energy sources plays a major role, right. So, we will try to concentrate on this green energy, right, through the renewable energy resources. So, coming to this energy related issues, probably we try to use more on renewable energy sources, right. Next, we will move to next slide. It is about the corporate green tech, okay, right. We come to this because this makes somehow more interesting. What are the corporate companies which adopt the green tech, right, or green technology, right. In 2004, Starbucks Corporation, you all know about the Starbucks coffee, right? Starbucks Corporation performed a study to measure the company's greenhouse gas emissions. The study revealed that 70% of the company's emission came from the purchase of electricity used to power their stores. You can listen this. As a result, the company has been working to source all of its power from renewable energy sources for all of its global store operations, including the company's global supply chain and corporate offices. So, they want their entire company to be powered only by renewable energy sources. Now, according to Starbucks, in 2018, the company made investments into wind and solar energy, right. For example, in North Carolina, the company bought a 1,40,000 acre solar farm, right. This farm supposedly deliver enough clean energy to power an equivalent of 600 Starbucks retail stores, right. It is the company's responsibility towards the problem. Okay. So, they are trying to do this. Now, that is about the 600 Starbucks retail stores. In 2019, the company also invested in wind projects which are intended to provide power for 116 Seattle wash area stores as well as stores in the state of Illinois, right. So, first they went for solar farm, then in 2019, that is following the consecutive next year, they started investing in wind projects also, right. So, this is the idea how a corporate company can come voluntarily and how they can serve to the society or how they can serve to the environment, right. They are participating themselves in global pollution activities, right. We will see the history of the green technology. In early days before the industry revolution, people were using the main source, the sun, to generating the heat. They also used the other source to assist their daily life, such as horses for transportation, animals like cows and donkeys are their labours, and the wind will used to move the sails and generate the simple machine. Of course, you yourself remember about the very olden days, right. So, this is what happening with the sun, then with the horses, with the animals, right. We have started, right, running our life through these. However, since the first introduce of modern steam engine by Thomas Newcomen and James Watt in the mid 1700s, people found the possibility of make use of the power of steam which is used, right. We started inventing the steam engine. Steam engines were soon become powering locomotives, factories and farm implements after the coal dug from the mines of England and Appalachia, right. So, we have started moving on towards the steam engine. In the 1800s, more and more natural resources were found useful and able to bring us a zillion of convenience, such as the oil and petroleum which use in the process, the gasoline for machine combustion after that, right. So, first is the impact of the steam engine. The next we move towards the other natural resources such as coal and oil, right. So, however, this has brought a lot of energy crisis all around the world, right. Today, due to the huge consumption on the fossil fuels such as the oil, coal and the natural gas in the past decade, we were worried whether we will get the energy or not. Nowadays, green technology can refer to many different things such as clean energy, renewable energy, sustainable energy, waste management and energy conservation, right. So, initially we thought of working with some simple things, right. Then we thought of going with some natural resources, and then later on we want our environment to be clean. So, we move towards the green technology such as obtaining a clean energy, working more on renewable energy sources and waste management and energy conservation. However, it is hard to find a history specify for the technology in the past. right. So, history of green technology, we will have a small revision on this history of the green technology. During the 1900s, there was a series of energy crises in the Middle East and things getting worse in the year 1973, when the embargo imposed by the oil producers of Iraq and America led the price of crude oil to rise from $3 per barrel to $12 in year 1974 and almost reach average price of $45 in year 1980. It is about the Iraq, America, right. Then there likely a war on their crude oil price. Right. Till now, as Indians, we all are affected with the petrol price, right. So, that is also a major issue we are focusing. So, this decision was in response to the America gave their support for the Israel in the Arab-Israel war, right, that we call it as Yom Kippur war, right, on March 2011. So, US was awakening by this oil crisis and realized the importance of the energy resources. Therefore, beginning the initial push for developing the clean energy, in 1978 the National Energy Act became a landmark first step in beginning the research and development of renewable energy, but the push for renewable standards really began in the 1960s, right. So, you can see there is a act, right, the National Energy Act become a landmark first step in beginning the research and development of renewable energy. So, there is a push for renewable standards. So, now only this people's, right, they have started the problem, they are facing a problem with the oil crisis, they wanted to go for the renewable energy sources. I have given an URL for you to know something more about this history of the green technology. Now, the history of green technology in the same process, after that, right, Madrigal also had a significant research in solar, wind and other alternative energies, because there is a sudden change in the energy cost and realization of environmental crisis. These were the evidences to prove that since 1900s green technology was undergoing a huge and rapid growth until today, right. So, because of the energy crisis we went to the renewable energy sources. So, we have started developing in 1900s only about the green technology, right. So, this world primary energy consumption grew by 2.5% in 2011, less than half the growth rate experienced in 2010, but close to the historical average, right. The power consumption also increases year by year, right. So, oil remains the world's leading fuel, accounting for 33% of global energy consumption, but this figure is the lowest share on record. So, coal's market share of 30.3% was the highest since 1969, but after the highest share of this coal in 1969, then oil takes the leading impact, it went to 33%, right. So, development of green technology. Now, all these things makes the people who think about the future and the environment, right, they slowly started moving towards the green technology. There are various types of green technology such as wind, solar, hydro, right, which is derived from the water movement, biofuels which is derived from burning plants and animal substances, geothermal energy which is derived from the heat that given off by the earth, and biomass which is produced by the organic materials such as plants and animals. So, now you see a cluster: wind, solar, hydroelectric, biofuels, right, geothermal energy, biomass. You have see a cluster of renewable energy sources, right. So, coming under the green technology impacts, G20 renewable electricity production. So, we have a summit on this renewable electricity production. This source is given by NRDC 2012, US Energy Information Administration, that is formed in the year 2012, Bloomberg New Energy Finance 2012. These sources has given information on this renewable electricity production through the G20 summit. So, there is a research and data collection prepared by the NRDC 2012, US Energy Information Administration 2012 and Bloomberg New Energy Finance 2012. showing some important statistics in percentage of the renewable electricity production and investment of ranked the G20 countries, right. So, you will have a group of countries, right, they concentrate more on renewable energy resources, right, then their impact, investment, production, their ideas, everything were shared on the same on the summit. The electricity are produced by various kinds of renewable energy sources such as wind, solar, geothermal, tidal, etc., wave and tidal, etc., right. So, history of green technology, mostly the summit concentrated more on the wind, solar, geothermal, tidal and wave, right. See, top countries for clean energy investments in 2000 level, they have 11, they have created so many summits, and they have created so many energy associations, they have made reformation on the countries with the clean energy investments, like this. So many new technologies, right, were started on the summit. Now, so as they all of them have agreed to start, they have an individual summit, right, the country's responsibility towards the green energy, etc., everything is there. Now, we will see the benefits or advantages of green technology. So, what are the benefits? It does not emit anything harmful to the environment. When you adopt a green technology, which in turn it does not emit anything harmful for the environment. It has become popular as consumers of the technology are becoming more environment conscious. This will give benefits to investors at long run in certain areas, right. When you adopt a green technology, this makes, right, you are more environment conscious, right, a company or a production person, whatever it may be. So, this will give benefit to the investors at long run, right, and also you will get more orders, right, when you are concentrating more on the environment. It requires less cost for maintenance, this reduces operating cost, and hence overall cost on the long run is reduced, right. Then as it uses renewable natural resources, and hence we will never run out of vital resources such as water and electricity. Now, apart from this, even if you take a coal or oil, right, then the status of the oil, you can get it for next 20 to 30 years, that is all. Then we do not know about the oil resources, similarly about the coal resources, but here these renewable natural resources are replenishable, right, which are available all the time, right. So, that is why we used to go with that. It will slow down the effects of global warming due to reduction in CO2 emissions, right. You have a new term, right, that is the global warming. We try to concentrate more on that global warming also. When you go through renewable natural resources, there is ultimately zero CO2 emissions. So, this makes the environment is somehow more healthier, right. Now, when you see some advantages, automatically you have to see some of the disadvantages also. Similarly, we tell it as a challenges, right. So, initial investment or implementation cost is very high. Whenever you go for a new technology that is ultimately an environmental friendly one, right, probably the cost is going to be high. People are still not familiar with the technology, hence it will take time to adapt it for larger population. This is what I can quote you an example. Initially we were using an incandescent lamp, that is going to be almost yellow color lamp. Then slowly we went for LCD, that is this CFL lamps, right, and then nowadays we are using LED lamps, but the transition takes some time. The people who are using the incandescent lamp, inductive load in nature, right, for them to move to the CFL technology, it has taken some time. Then from CFL lamps to LED lamps, it has taken another set of time, because the cost is also a major factor when compared to the existing structure. So, the technology is still evolving and many of the products are at R&D stage, hence people are unaware of performance results. So, lack of skilled human resources. When any new technology is going to come, automatically there is going to be some problem in operating, installing and effective use of the new system. So, that is one of the major point. In most of the countries, policies have not been finalized for the green technology based systems. Yes, of course, we do not have any new policies, right, for the green technology adoption. So, that is also going to be one of the problem, because in all the countries you cannot implement all the technologies. So, you need certain permissions. In such case, we have to get the permissions also. Right. Role of industrial ecology in green technology. Till now we were talking about the general structure, etc., everything of the green technologies, advantages, disadvantages were discussed. But who were the real heroes? Right here, industrial ecology in green technology, that is very, very important. In the last few years, keeping with its mandate, UNIDO coined the concept green industry to place sustainable industrial development in the context of new global sustainable development challenges, right. So, green industry means economies striving for a more sustainable pathway of growth by undertaking the green public investments and implementing public policy initiatives that encourage environmentally responsible private investments. Right, you will have a policy initiatives, public investments as well as private investments, all these things are important. You can see role of industrial ecology in green technology. Under that, greening of industry is a method to attain sustainable economic growth and promote sustainable economies, right. It includes policy making, industrial production process and resource efficient productivity. So, when you move to the green technology, there is a problem that you are going to spend more on this new technology, right. But in spite of that, right, you are going to have a policy making decision, that is one part. Next one is improved industrial production process, right. I am going to have more waste in the conventional system. If I use green technology, then there is not going to be more waste on the process. So, there is an improved production process, and similarly resource efficient reproductivity, right. The resources are used properly and there is going to be an efficient productivity in the case, right. So, our green industry initiative creates awareness, knowledge and capacities, right. We work with governments to support industrial institutions that in turn provide assistance to enterprise and entrepreneurs in all aspects relating to the greening of industry. So, you have a green industry initiative which work and which give you more knowledge on the system. Following is a brief overview of the sectors with which we work. So, under this green technologies, resource efficient and cleaner production. This cleaner production is going to be a separate topic, right. Under this resource efficient and cleaner production, taking care of materials, energy, water, waste and emissions makes good business sense, right. So, how you make yourself a good business, right, in a particularly in a production industry. So, taking care of materials, energy, water, waste and emissions, all these things makes a very good business sense. So, this RECP is the way to achieve this. What is RECP? Resource efficient and cleaner production process. So, that is this process, hence cleaner production. RECP uses CP to accelerate the application of preventive environmental strategies to process products and services to increase efficiency and reduce risks to humans and the environment, right. And just you can go back, right, resource efficient cleaner production. Under that, the cleaner production alone, right. So, in the cleaner production alone, the major application were preventive environmental strategies to process products and services to increase the efficiency and reduce risks to humans, right. So, here it addresses production efficiency, that is optimization of the productive use of natural resources, materials, energy and water, etc. Then next one is environmental management, minimization of impacts on environment and nature through reduction of waste and emissions. So, here you see environmental management is considered majorly, that is minimization of impacts on environment. Whatever the product, process, the production we do, there should be a very minimal impact on the environment of the manufacturing of the product. Then next is about the human development, minimization of risks to people and communities and support for their development, right. You can see this is an example, right, that is the Stockholm Convention and Persistent Organic Pollutants, right. We call it as POPs. The Stockholm Convention is a global treaty to protect human health and the environment from chemicals, persistent organic pollutants. You could have heard about this POPs, right, that remain intact in the environment for long periods of time, become widely distributed geographically, accumulate in the fatty tissues of humans and wildlife, and have adverse effects to human health or to the environment, right. So, this POPs has to be considered very closely. The Montreal Protocol is an international environment treaty designed to protect the ozone layer by phasing out the production of a number of substances believed to be responsible for ozone depletion. You can see about the ozone depletion, that is the global warming strategy. You have plenty of problems related to the ozone depletion. So, we try to concentrate more on this ozone depletion. When and where it is required, you can make the products such that it should safeguard the ozone layer, etc., because it all leads to the global warming, right. We see this since 1989 a timetable established the different phase outs. For example, it has been agreed to initially phase out hydrochlorofluorocarbon HCFC, a chemical compounding containing hydrogen, by 2015, with the final phase out by 2030. So, we will not be using this HCFC not more than 2030. Like this, we will have so many resolutions, right, such that we should not use this product more than this, right. We should not use any endangering products towards the human being or towards the environment, etc., everything.